we can get started. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, those of you who are just coming it for the first time, just as you guys know, we have this session every month. Generally, we prefer by end of the month, wherein we talk about some of the new things that we have just rolled out throughout the month. So, in today's session, we will be talking about all of those new things that we have rolled out in August, and we'll also talk about some of the things that we plan to roll out in next few weeks. So, just as you guys know, this session is being recorded, and we'll share with all the people who are in kind of on the call today. I mean, right now, and also for those who have not been able to make it. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through all of those new things that we have rolled out in August. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen. All right, so one feature that we have rolled out this month was the drag and drop. So drag and drop with the two different modules. One is with the to do modules. So those of you who use to do module, previously, if you wanted to change the order between the two to-dos, you were not able to do it, but now you can simply do drag and drop and you should be able to change the order of to-do. The same thing we actually did it with the close mode as well, where you, let's say, wanted to change the order of different to-dos, you should be able to do that here as well, right? So it's the same thing that you can do here. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. Second thing that we made a change with the close mode is we added a field called reconciling item. So reconciling item, let me just show you. So with the GL account, GL reconciliation that have been added to the close, we did not have these reconciling items here, and this is generally helpful, especially with the bank accounts. So what used to happen was that the GL balance and the reconcile balance will not be always the same because you would have some unclear transactions that have not been cleared yet. A lot of you were confused as to, I mean, because it would not let you sign off if the difference is not zero. And a lot of you were confused as to how to deal with those unclear balance. Now what's going to happen is that we have added a field called reconciling items. So whatever the total is for your unclear transactions that you will put it here. Let's say I had a total of 1000 which is for unclear transactions, and this balance as per bank statement was, let's say, what I call, let's say 6600, right? That's how the difference is coming zero, and that's how you'll be able to save it. So previously this field wasn't available, but now since it's available, you guys can put in the reconciling items, which is the same as the total of unclear transactions. Another thing that we did here was that we have added an ability to open the PDF document, Excel document right here inside Xenett. Previously, the only way to view the document was to download it. So you had to click on the download button, then literally open the file in your local computer, and then that's how you were able to see it. But now we have introduced a viewer, like the viewer to view the images, PDF, Word document, Excel documents right inside Xenett. So that now you don't need to download those files to view them. When you simply click on the file, it will open a pop-up wherein you should be able to view the file, the content and everything. Obviously, you'll not be able to make any changes, but at least you can view the content. And then if you need to download it, you just simply click on download and you should be able to download that particular file from here. So that's another feature that we have added in the close module. That's that. Now, we have, this is also again the one that I'm going to talk about is coming from our customers, is where, like, see, right now I'm reviewing Jan to July. Let's say for whatever reason, if I come out from this client and go somewhere else, let's say if I go to another client, I'm gonna lose this period, and it's gonna be default to the last period. So imagine if I exit from this window, and if I come back, I'll default land on July, right? Which is, or July or August, which is the month that is currently running. And I will always have to go back and select once again January to July. So now at least what we have done is that whatever period that you are reviewing, it's gonna be saved, right? So you don't need to kind of come back and select those period every time. So right now, let's say if I'm into January, July, if I go to any other client, let's say other, and then if I come back to the same client again, I will default land on January to July, which is the closing, I mean, which is the review period that I had selected. So again, that will just help me because I don't again need to switch to the period that I was reviewing it. So that was another addition. One small thing that we also changed was the way how you switch between the clients. So previously, we like whenever you had to switch to different clients, there was a drop down here. When you click on that, you're going to be seeing the list of clients and you can switch it from here. But now when you click on the client name, you see the list of all of your clients. So you can type in and then you can easily pick the clients from here, right? So at least you have now more visibility. Like if you have like tons of clients, you have the larger list, you can easily find the clients and then you can easily get in. Small thing, but might make a difference. All right, so that was another thing that we made the change. Now, with the recent release, we also made some cool features. All right, number one feature that we added was with the profit and loss. So when you go to profit and loss in the close mode, when you go to profit and loss, we have revamped the GL snapshot window. So now what's going to happen is that whenever you click on any of the client, I mean, any of the amount here, let me just show you for a second. If I switch to, let's say, March close here, and whenever you click on any of the amount, so if I go to profit and loss, all right, let's see, if I click here, right, I should be able to see rather than showing the list of transactions, it will show me a snapshot. So if I click here, so what this tells me that, hey, this is March and this is by vendor. And then against March, it compares with the previous month, it compares with the previous year, and it also compares with 3 months average, right? So at this point, I'm looking at macro level information, right? Because imagine if I just look at the transactions, that's not just going to help me, right? Like this is the typically what happens is that when we click on any of the amount in QuickBooks, it's going to show us the list of transactions, but that's not going to help us. We literally have to go through transactions then to find out where there are problems, like are we missing any vendor bills or did we miss out any paying any vendors, right? So what we have done is that we kind of first show you a summarized version, right? Like you can literally see the breakdown of all of your vendors, like the whole breakdown of this total expenses here. And then we also compare it with the previous month and previous year, so you would exactly know if something is off, why it's off. Is it because of this vendor or that vendor? Correct. So that way you can basically have a macro level view from here. And then obviously, if you then still need to look at the transactions, you can always click on show ledger and it is then gonna give you the list of transactions right here in front of you, right? So those thing, it's gonna be very, very handy. So that's again a new addition that we have done. Um, Another thing that we did was we actually did it for the client users. So those of you who use client portal, see previously while responding to the questions, especially from the client's perspective, let's say there was a new vendor in here, and like if there was a new vendor as a client user, I mean they did not have any ability to create the new one. So what they will have, what they'll have to do is that they will kind of type in here that this was paid to Amazon, because they were not able to create the new vendor. They had to put in the comments then account and user had to create the that particular vendor manually. Instead, what we have done is that now the client user should be able to create the vendor from their end also, right? Because it's just a name. They might just say that, hey, this is amazon.com. They're gonna say it's vendor, and then they just can submit it, right? So that's also a little thing, but gonna tremendously help the client users and also accountant users. So that was another thing that we have done. All right, feel free, guys. I'm not looking at the chat, but let me just look at it real quick. Just want to make sure there are no questions at all. If you guys have any questions, feel free, guys, to leave a comment, and our team will be more than happy to answer all of your questions. All right, so that's that. Then in the setting, we have introduced a setting where uh, for the automatic emails that goes out to the client users, you should, like, previously the time zone wasn't there. I mean, it was by default picking up the time that you were located in, right? So if I'm in est, it will automatically pick est. If I'm in pst, it will automatically and select pst. But now you will have an ability to select on which time zone you want to send out these emails to your client, correct? So again, little thing, but it was causing a lot of confusion to a lot of you. So we just simply introduce this time zone. So it's going to be very, very handy now. So that's that. All right. Now, I do have one last thing, which is Xenett port. So I don't know how many of you know, but we used to have a separate application called Xenett port. So it's like a Xenett Auto Review and then Xenett Port. Both applications used to work independently. Both had different subscription. For both of them, you had to add clients individually. But then we actually revamped our whole thing. Like Xenett Port is now going to be as one of the module, right? So previously you had to go to separate URL to access Xenett Port, but now Xenett Port is just a part of the your like Xenett account. Now let me, those of you who don't know what Xenett Port is all about, let me just talk about that. So when you click on Xenett Port, and by the way, this is add-on, this is not included in your normal Xenett subscription. By paying $2.5 extra, you will be able to use this module. What it does is that anything that has to do with the bulk, whether it's a bulk import, whether it's a bulk edit, whether it's a bulk delete, anything that you want to take any bulk actions, you should be able to do it from here. So when I talk about bulk import, right, there's a template that you can download here. And in this template, let me just show you what the template looks like and what all you can do with the template. Okay. So as you can see in the template, you got different sheets here. So there are various transactions types here, like journal entries, bills, vendor credit, all of them. And in fact, it has also got different sheets for your masters entities like location, accounts, vendors, items, right? So what this means is that, like, as long as you, let's say you are kind of working on a catch up work, like you wanted to prepare a books from the scratch for last 2 years and you wanted to import transactions from Excel file. Now what you could do is that as long as you put your data or transactions into the format, that this specific format, you will be able to import those transactions into your QuickBooks file using Xenett port. Okay. Right now it works only with QuickBooks Online. So these are all the different transactions here, right? You just have to put in your transactions here in this format. All you have to then do is come here, select that particular file, and on a click, you can import thousands of transactions in your QuickBooks file, right? So that's what bulk import does, right? You can easily download the template, sample template from here, and then you can just import it easily. Then we have this feature called bulk update. Now this is pretty interesting as well. So imagine you have already recorded some transactions in your QuickBooks file and you wanted to update them. In this case, you wanted to update the existing transactions, not import the new ones. So all you could do, you can simply pull up the transaction. So let's say I wanted to pull up all my bills or expenses, let's say whatever you say, and then these are different parameters. Then when you click on search, it's gonna pull up the bills based on the parameters that you've selected. Now in this particular case, let's say I wanted to update this bank account here. Like some of them went to wrongly capital one instead of BB&T, right? I mean, it could be anything. Or let's say you wanted to update the memo, or let's say you wanted to update the line description or quantity or rate or in fact, any field. Let's say you wanted to update it. You can simply do it from here. All you have to do, just simply click here, select all, click on update. When you click on update, it opens up the whole list of transactions into an Excel format, right? Now in this case, let's say you wanted to add some memo here. I'm just typing in randomly, and then you wanted to copy to all of your transactions here. Let's say this Boston location you wanted to copy across all of your data, correct? Just simply, just like we play around in Excel, sim like just like that, you update the information here. Once you're done updating with it, all you have to do, just simply click on update, and it will literally update every single transactions in your QuickBooks file based on the changes that you have done it, right? So this is literally like pulling your transactions into Excel, allowing you to make whatever changes that you like, and eventually you can just on a click push those changes back to QuickBooks online. So especially with the cleanup mode, this is going to be very, very handy, right? Because imagine, I mean, if you had to update bulk transactions, right? And the change could be anything. I mean, as I said, it could be the change with the date. It could be change with the memo account. Every field that you see on the screen can be changeable in this particular screen, right? So this is what bulk update is all about. Now, obviously, you can update the transactions, but at the same time, you should also be able to update various lists. Like you can update, let's say, vendor list. In this case, let's say you wanted to add some first name or last name, or let's say you wanted to update the billing address, or you wanted to update the notes or email or phone number, anything and everything. All you simply have to do, just select them all, click on update. Once you click on update, you're gonna get those information into more like Excel format, and then yeah, make whatever changes that you like, and just simply click on update, and it will then update QuickBooks file in real time. Okay, so that's bulk update. Now the last one that we have here is bulk delete. Now same thing, I mean, like let's say, uh, just like bulk update helps you update the existing transactions, bulk delete lets you easily delete the unwanted transactions. So let's say the books is mess and someone did a mistake, wrongly entered transactions, and you wanted to remove them. It's very, very simple. Select the date range for which you wanted to pull the transactions. Select the transactions type. Let's say you wanted to um, remove all the expenses for any particular bank account or any particular credit card account, right? So then you click on search. So now it's only gonna pull up the transactions for this date range, for this I mean the transactions type, and for this particular bank account. In this particular case, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select all. I'm gonna say delete transactions. On a click, you should be able to delete thousands of transactions, right? So these are the main features of Xenett port. Like it lets you do the bulk import, bulk update, and bulk delete. All right. So that's like Xenett port for you guys. So these are the mainly the new features that we have rolled out this August. There are some cool new features we will be rolling out in September. I'll just quickly give you guys a quick glimpse as to what will be those. So we are making some improvements with the templates. So whenever you are importing, let's say close template or to do template, while importing it, you don't have a way to exclude any of these folders or any of these tasks. See, by default, imagine if there are 100 tasks, it's gonna be imported them all, right? But now, when you would import it in close or to do, you will see an option to choose. Like if you wanted to, let's say, exclude, let's say, inventory, because let's say the client I'm importing this template into does not really use inventory, I should be able to exclude it. Or I don't use, let's say, I don't have any prepaid expenses, I should be able to exclude it, right? So that feature will be available. Another feature that will be available with the close is also be able to copy template. Right now, I mean, if I, let's say, have to copy this template and create the new one, I have to create one by one. There is not an easy way to copy it. So we are introducing that feature where you will be able to duplicate it easily. A third feature that we are doing is with the close mode. A lot of you requested that, hey, I need to be able to export this into Excel. All of your closing tasks with the status, right? So there's going to be an Excel export. So in case if you need to share with someone, you should be able to share it easily. Same Excel export we are also introducing with the questions module, where if all of your questions, see right now it's not exportable, so with the Excel export you should be able to easily export it into Excel. And third last thing where we are also be going to be giving Excel export is uh, this reconciliation status, right? So not reconciliation status, yeah, reconciliation status, sorry. So right now this is not exportable. So this is something we are also coming up with a feature where you should be able to easily export it as well, right? So these are some of the things uh, that we are immediately rolling out in this release, I mean, upcoming release. And then later this month, we will also be, I would say, working on improving the experience for profit and loss and balance sheet. There is so much new thing that we have planned with the profit and loss, especially to start with the way how it looks, right? So there's going to be a lot of improvements with the design. There's going to be a lot of improvements with when you look at the transactions. And then we will also be making some improvements with the sign off process at the profit and loss and balance sheet level. So see, right now, let's say for balance sheet accounts, if you wanted to attach any working papers here at this level, you cannot do it unless you add that particular balance sheet account in your close process, right? So you need to add this account here, and then you should be able to attach that document. So now what will happen is that you don't necessarily have to add that account into close, but while you review, let's say, balance sheet or profit and loss, and you wanted to attach your working papers, let's say there's a prepaid account and you wanted to attach the prepaid expenses schedule, you should be able to just do it from here, right? It does not need to be done through the close mode. So that is another feature that we have, that we will be adding later this next month, right? So, guys, yeah, these are the main things that we'll be rolling out. I just wanted to touch base on some of the high level features that we are rolling out. There will be quite some small improvements here and there, but this is all we'll be rolling out in September. So, I'm just gonna touch base. Let me just see if there's anything in the chat. I don't think anything as such, guys. So, feel free, guys, if you have any questions or if you wanted to unmute yourself or ask anything, feel free. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys may have it. And uh, one of the thing I also wanted to mention is that we work with our customers, help your people train. So if you have someone joining your team and if they need any sort of training, just let us know. I mean, we can kind of train them so that you guys don't have to worry about training them or spending any time with them. In fact, even that goes for the implementation as well. If you guys are, let's say, onboarding any clients, and if you need us to set up the closed mode for you guys, just let us know. We should be able to help with implementation and training as well. All right, any questions, guys? I think that's pretty much it. Um, So let me know if, just feel free to leave any questions here or feel free to unmute yourself and ask as well. Seems like we are good to go. So I think we're just gonna end this session today. Thank you very much, guys, for joining today's session. I hope you guys found it helpful. Feel free to, I mean, we'll be sharing the recording with all of you, so feel free to share with your team members as well. So thank you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye. Take care.